If you're an accounting professional, you're probably already looking at how AI can make your life easier, and that's great. But the second you connect an AI to your client's sensitive financial data, a huge question pops up. Is it actually secure? Well, this explainer is designed to give you the framework to answer that question with total confidence.
So let's start with the most important question you should be asking. You've connected an AI, maybe something like Claude Desktop, to a client's Xero account. You ask it to summarize a P&L report. In that split second, where does that sensitive data actually go? Who can see it? And how on earth is it being protected?
To figure that out, we have to follow the data on its journey. Think of it like a digital supply chain. From the moment it leaves your screen to the second it's processed by the AI, every single step needs to be secure. And understanding this flow, it's absolutely fundamental to managing your risk.
Okay, let's break this journey down into 3 key stages. First, your data is in transit. That's when it's flying across the internet to the AI provider. Second, it's in use, which is when the AI model is actively working on it. And finally, it might be at rest if the provider stores it, maybe to remember your conversation history. Each of these stages brings up a totally different security question you need to have an answer for.
And this is exactly why the kind of AI tool you pick is so critical. A free public AI might just swallow up your prompts and your client's data to train its own model. But a professional, enterprise-grade tool, well, that's contractually bound to keep your data private. When it comes to any client work, this isn't just a preference, it's a professional requirement.
So, beyond the technical path your data takes, there's the legal one. As an accountant, you are a guardian of incredibly sensitive information. Using AI doesn't change that core responsibility at all. It just adds a new and kind of tricky layer to it.
Look, whether we're talking about GDPR in Europe or the Privacy Act in Australia, these laws are not optional. They spell out exactly how you have to handle client data. And when you bring an AI into the mix, that tool becomes an extension of your practice, and it has to play by the exact same rules. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you.
This brings up a huge challenge: cross-border data transfers. See, most of the big AI models are hosted in the US. So what happens if you're working on a German client's books? The moment you send a prompt, that data might physically leave the EU, which could put you in violation of GDPR. And that is a massive compliance headache nobody wants.
So what's the solution? Well, it's often called a sovereign cloud or onshore deployment. To put it simply, it just means the AI provider guarantees that your client's financial data, all of it, whether it's moving, being used, or being stored, never ever leaves your country's borders. This keeps it safely tucked under the protection of your local laws.
Now, another challenge is transparency, or really the lack of it. A lot of these powerful AI models are black boxes. You can't actually peek inside to see how they're handling your data. For a profession that's built on trust and audit trails, this lack of visibility is a pretty significant risk. I mean, how can you prove you're compliant if you can't even see what the tool is doing?
Okay, so the risks are clear. How do we build a practical, effective safety net to manage all this? It really comes down to a mix of smart policies, clear human oversight, and putting the right protections in place. This might just be the single most important safety principle of all. Always, always keep a human in the loop. For example, an AI can access Xero and draft a fantastic financial summary. That's a huge productivity win. But it absolutely, positively cannot post a journal entry without your explicit human approval. The accountability has to stay with you.
And that principle needs to be written down, formalized in your firm's policy. Creating a simple data classification guide like this is one of the most powerful things you can do. It gives your team crystal clear rules. Public info? Fine for general tools. Internal company data? That needs a controlled enterprise AI. And confidential client data? That is only for secure, sovereign AI. This one simple step can prevent a truly disastrous data leak. And remember, your AI provider is legally what's called a data processor, which means your contract with them has to be rock solid. You need to insist on non-negotiable clauses that spell out where data is stored, confirm it will never be used for training, and guarantee your right to audit them and delete your data. That contract is your ultimate safety net.
All right, so we've covered the data's journey, the laws, and the policies. Let's pull it all together into a really practical checklist you can start using in your firm, like today, to make sure you're using AI both powerfully and safely.
These 6 principles are your foundation. Always use enterprise accounts for work. Never ever paste client data into public tools. Use role-based access for your AI connectors. Prioritize onshore data solutions. Make sure everything is auditable, and maybe most importantly, train your team. This isn't just a checklist. It's your blueprint for adopting AI responsibly.
You know, as we look ahead, the whole industry is shifting. The next wave of innovation isn't just about making AI smarter. It's about building systems with security, privacy, and auditability baked right in from the start. It's about creating AI that you can fundamentally trust.
And really, it all comes down to this one question. As you're evaluating any AI tool, don't just ask how powerful it is. Ask yourself, is it trustworthy? Because for an accounting professional, power is a nice bonus, but trust is the entire foundation of your work.